First, we're going to start off, I've already have my face is washed and prepped and primed and ready to go. So we're going to start on our eyes, which is what I like to do when I'm doing a really dramatic look. That way I can go back in and add my concealer and I can cover up any mess ups that I've had or any type of fallout that I might have had from my eye makeup. So we're going in with the Urban Decay Naked palette in the shade Naked, just as like a transition color to get that on our crease. And you're going to see I'm going to be doing a lot of colors, layering them one on top of the other today. And that's just so that all of the colors that we start to use will all seamlessly blend together and give us a really nice, pretty finish instead of looking choppy or like they haven't been blended well. So basically I'm starting with my lightest color and then I'm gonna keep building up from there. So now that I've got Naked on, I'm gonna take it, like I said, a step darker with the color Buck, which is in the same Naked palette. And again, going in the crease here. And you can see I'm actually bringing it out a little bit on the outer corner of my eye. So just to add a little bit more drama to this look, it's going to be a little bit smoky. And yes, I know it looks a little bit choppy right now, but I promise it's all going to come together in the end and it's going to look beautiful. I'm also going to go in with a shade from my NYX in Paris palette and just put this all over my eyelid. It's kind of an orangish red color. They don't really label it on the package, so I can't really tell you the exact name, but you can see it's actually this color right here where you can see I've started to kind of hit pan. It's like a peachy orange. It's matte, there's no shimmer to it, and it's great for just all over your lid. But to continue building up in our crease, I'm going to go in with my Motives palette, and this is in the shade Native, and it's just another matte brown shade. I'm actually going to bring that into my corner a little bit. The lower lash line a little bit. Then I'm going to take that same shade with the pencil brush, and I'm actually going to drag it down onto my lower lash line. This just continues your look and gives it a more cohesive appearance, and also just keeps everything so it keeps it balanced, because you don't want really heavy eyes up here and then nothing down here. That gives you kind of an off balance look, and we really definitely don't want that. Then for my lid, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet a brush, a shadow brush, and I'm going to dip it into this L'Oreal Paris shade, which is, of course I don't know the shades off the top of my head. It's called Amber Rush, and it's just a really pretty shimmery, almost coppery color. And the reason that you want to wet your brush on this step is because it will actually intensify the effect of the eyeshadow. And for a holiday party, we are going for intense. So that's going to go on basically from inner corner to almost like you're going to stop before you get to the outer third corner of your eye. And this is just going to look really pretty and just give you a little bit of light whenever you close your eyes, and make everything just sparkle and look beautiful. Then I'm going to go in with the color Bordeaux from the same Motives palette that I was using a little bit earlier, just because I'm really loving these aubergine or burgundy plum colors. And I'm going to pop that kind of in the corner of my eye here. To give it a little bit more drama, a little bit more depth. I'm not really wanting that in my crease at all though. I'm just keeping it on the outer corner of my eye. And then again, I can use that same pencil brush and bring it down. So now we need to do something about the inner corner of our eyes. I always love watching these tutorials because I feel like you look absolutely ridiculous at this point in time. So if someone were to look at you and you're like, no, I don't want to follow this tutorial, stick with me. This is how makeup goes. You look ridiculous at first, but then it gets better. So stay with me. In the inner corner of my eye, I'm going to go in with the color Virgin, which is from the Naked palette, and it is just a really shimmery white shade. And you definitely want to do the inner corner on the top and the bottom right here, even touching the bone on the side of your nose. Really just to make that pop, if you can. Another shade that I like to do, that I can get it out here, is I like to follow this up with my MAC pigment shade, which again, I'm going to spray my brush and dip it into my MAC pigment, which is in the color Virgin Silver. And then we're just going to take a matte color on our brow bone. So I'm going to use the color Birch from the Motives palette, which is this kind of creamy off-white color here. I don't want a whole lot of shimmer up there since there's so much shimmer going on down here on my eyes. I really would prefer to keep that more of a matte look to my upper brow bone. Otherwise, it's just going to be like, wow, she's got on a lot of shimmer today. And then I'm actually going to use that and then start with my pencil and start blending everything together. If you ever feel like you've messed up your eye makeup, just start blending. When in doubt, blend it out is the saying that I've always heard and that I always like to stick by. We've got a lot of colors going on here, and that's why it's so important to blend, blend, blend. Otherwise, people are going to think that you just kind of look like you attacked your eyes, which we don't want to go for that look. So now to go ahead and clean it up a little bit, we can start adding our concealer because, like I said, my face has already been primed. I do like to, for the holiday season, add a little bit of my Revlon Photo Illuminizer, but I'm running out of it. I'm having a really hard time finding it in the drugstore anymore. I feel like too many people are buying it, so stop buying it. I need some. And then I'm going to go ahead and go in with my regular Makeup HD Forever foundation. Making sure, especially if you're wearing your hair up, make sure you get your ears so that they match, and like your neck. A lot of times we wear our hair up for the holidays, and that can be like a dead giveaway that you've got on foundation. And you really want to make your foundation blend into your skin so it looks like it's almost not even there. And of course, we're going to highlight underneath our eyes with the Maybelline Age Rewind in a triangle motion. This just will lighten up the under eye area and just give you a really pretty look. So it focuses more on your eye makeup. It will reflect the light, if that makes sense. Are you following me? You're following me. And then see, I can kind of clean up this area right here. That's why I love the Beauty Blender for the under eye area, because it has this tip on it, so you can be really precise. If you don't have a Beauty Blender and you're just using your fingers or you're using a brush, that's okay. You can just take a makeup wipe and basically use your finger to do the same thing to kind of clean that area up. And then I'm going to add a few places where we are going to need to highlight today. And I am just using a highlighter from the drugstore. It is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer stick. So I'll go ahead and highlight that, and I use the same Beauty Blender sponge. I swear, one of these days, I'm going to have a tutorial where I am not going to mess up the words at all. It's going to be perfect, and you guys are going to be like, whoa, she's got her stuff together. I mean, let's get real. I have 3 kids. That's not happening. I don't get enough sleep to have my stuff together. So once we have added all of our liquid, well, actually, I guess I should contour. So speaking of not having everything together, I'm going to go ahead and contour my cheekbone here a little bit. And then I'm going to contour my forehead. And my jawline. And underneath, to give my lips that pop out. And then I'm going to start blending all of that. I really want to keep the contour up here. I know a lot of people like to drag it down really far. I feel like that's just a little excessive. But you definitely, this looks good in pictures when you contour your jawline. So that's basically what, the only time that I really am contouring my jawline is if I know that I'm going to be doing photos. It just gives your face a little bit more definition. But otherwise, it's not really a necessary step unless you are like working in TV or movies or something like that. It's just really not something that you need to do. But if you are going to contour your jawline, you definitely want to make sure that you are blending it down your neck. So I went out the other day and I contoured right here and I forgot to blend it in, and no one said anything to me. I guess everyone was just being so nice, but I got home and I was looking at my face and I'm like, oh my gosh, I look ridiculous. So it was just kind of a funny story, and just, you know, one of those things that happens in the makeup world. But like I was saying before, now that we have all the liquid on, we need to set it down. And I love to set it down with my Anastasia contour kit with the yellow shade, especially for the under eye area. This is just going to help make sure that nothing moves, nothing slides, everything's going to stay in place, and everything is going to be beautiful. And then I'm going to use my Revlon Photo Ready translucent powder to set the rest of my face. And then to warm everything up, I'm going to go in with just a little bit of bronzer. Even though we've contoured, I just feel like bronzer helps add back in a little bit of the warmth that I need. And you really would just want to stay on the outer edges of your face. Basically like you're framing your face with the bronzer. Again, a good trick for photos. And then, of course, you can always warm up your cheeks a little bit, but not too much because it is winter, so you don't really need to look like you've been baking in the sun. Unless you live in like Florida or somewhere that has sun year-round, no one is really going to believe you that you have a natural brown tan this time of year. So I love this Tarte blush in the shade Exposed, just because it's kind of like a nude shade. So it's not adding a whole lot. And so when you're doing holiday look on your eye and it's very dramatic, you want to keep your blush a little bit more, I don't want to say skin tone color because that sounds gross. But it's just a little bit more natural. And then of course we have to highlight because it's the holidays and that's what we do. So with my Becca Champagne Pop, I am going to just lightly tap on some highlighter on the tops of my cheekbone. And then I'm going to bring it up just a smidge above my brows and kind of use what's left over on this product to blend. And then I like to highlight down the bridge of my nose. And then I like to highlight the Cupid's bow area. But it's really important here to make sure that all that gets blended together. So I like to use a big fluffy brush. And make sure it's all, there's no harsh lines of anything. So it's not like you can see just like, oh, she put her highlighter here, and then she put her blush here, and then she put her contour here. You don't want it to look like that. You want everything to kind of fade and blend together seamlessly. So now what I'm going to do for my eyeliner, I'm just going to keep it really simple, and I'm going to go in and just do a black line. Okay, so very simple, and that's just going to give my eyelashes just a little bit more of a boost. It's going to thicken them up. And then my waterline is going to have the Revlon Photo Ready color pencil with white, which is just going to continue on with the process of keeping my eyes looking more wide and open. And then I will do some black on my lower lash line since this is a dramatic. If I'm going to do this to my lower lash line, then I also like to smoke it out. So with that pencil brush that I was using earlier, I just like to take this and just smudge it. Now we're going to go ahead and add our mascara, which I like the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black. And that's that on the lashes. You might be wondering why I didn't curl my lashes or why I don't add false lashes. That's just one of my personal things. I just don't really feel like that's a necessary step for me. I have really long lashes. They curl up on their own. And I just tend to think I look a little less natural with false lashes on. So if you want to do it, go for it, girl. I'm not going to fault you for that. I feel like whenever I'm wearing them, I'm paranoid and that like I'm like going to like rip them off mid party and or like one's gonna like be like hanging down while I'm talking to someone, so it's just way too much like an anxiety for me, so I don't do it. But if you do, that's great. So we'll move on to lips. Would not be a holiday look, I feel, like if you didn't go with a red lip. This is the color Ruby Flame by Revlon. I love this red. I feel like I can pull it off pretty well. But I do like to add just a little bit of, I'm a gloss girl, so I like to just add a little bit of like a sheer gloss to the middle. And this is just in the, it's a Lorac Alter Ego lip gloss, and it's in the shade Mademoiselle. So that's it. That completes my holiday look. I hope that you like this look. I hope that you guys could follow along easily. I know sometimes it's kind of hard, but hopefully it made sense to you. If not, ask questions below in the comment box and I promise to respond. And I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.